been blown to pieces. I think that was, what was that? Was that Dylan Klebold and Eric Harris's favorite song? Yes. Always nice to start with a Columbine joke. Filter out the assholes who shouldn't be listening. Anyway, welcome to the Savage Sacktap. I'm Mike Montone. Thanks for choosing me to fill your brain with absolute garbage. It's summer in New Jersey, officially. Let me get my nose queued up here. 1 second. Alright. Yeah, that's right. It is summer in New Jersey, officially. We start summer here on Memorial Day weekend. I don't know if that's a thing around the rest of the country, but that's what we do here. My birthday was actually the Saturday of Memorial Day weekend. 32 years old. How about that? My parents usually ask me if there's anything special I want. Typically it's just a couple books and a bottle of bourbon. Nothing too outrageous. I'm a simple man. But this year they told me they wanted to surprise me with something. So I was like, okay, fuck it. Surprise me. And they got me a fishing pole. And you better believe I was fucking surprised, because for those keeping score at home, the amount of times I've been fishing in my life is a grand total of 0. So yeah, fishing pole. I guess the surprise was finding out that after 32 years on the planet, my parents still. I don't. Fucking microphone's not even on. This is for show. I'm gonna be totally honest. But it looks cool there. I just don't want it fucking up the shot. Anyway, the surprise was that after 32 years on the planet, my parents don't know a whole lot about their firstborn son. And I know there's some of you out there who are into fishing. I just don't get it. You know, it's like golf. It just seems like a lot of work and frustration just to try to relax. Like, hey, it's a hot summer day. Let's stand out in the sun for 8 hours next to a bucket of raw fish. Come on! It'll be a lot of fun. We can get our hands really greasy from sunscreen and fish cuts, and then we'll use our fingers to manipulate an incredibly sharp hook and a razor-thin wire. That sounds like we need to carry a lot of equipment. Is the fishing spot easy to get to? No! We'll have to trudge across hot sand, and then lifeguards will force us to relocate several times throughout the day. And we can do this at any time of the day or night? No! We have to get up incredibly early, and we probably won't even catch anything. It'll be great! Anyway, I guess I fish now. And I'm on the Downeaster, Alexa. I don't know if you can hear, there's sirens fucking wailing in the background, so I'm just gonna give it, feels like I'm in a fucking 50 Cent video. This is what happens when you live in a urban neighborhood. Oh, fire truck! Threw me for a loop. I thought it was for sure the 5-0. We get a shooting around here every once in a while. From what I remember, though, Memorial Day weekend was actually pretty fucking stellar. My roommate and my brother came to my girlfriend's place down the shore. That's right. I fucked my way into a crash pad by the sea. But yeah, we boozed in the sun all morning and then grilled up like a shitload of meat, and then we bar crawled around Belmar. If you've never been to Belmar, put it on your list. In the summertime, it is an absolute sight to behold, especially on like a holiday weekend. The streets are just crawling with sluts and bros headed towards DJs, which, by the way, is the greatest bar in the world. I've drank my way across the planet from fucking Beach Haven to Bangkok, and DJs is hands down the best bar I have ever been to. Everyone tells me that Secrets in Ocean City is the best. Get fucked. Get fucked. Secrets is a good time, I'll grant you, but nobody throws down harder from... See, I don't want to accidentally... I talk a lot with my hands. I don't want to whack fucking water all over my laptop. What was I saying? Yeah. Secrets is fun, but nobody throws down harder than DJs. That little French place at 18th and Ocean is doing big things. Anyway, Belmar on a summer weekend, but especially a holiday weekend, is just unreal. The way it works for the uninitiated is that everyone rents houses with their friends from May through September, and they go down after work on Thursday or Friday to just party through the weekend. And I mean through the weekend. I've woken up to groups of people doing lines of blow off of a coffee table at 4 a.m. On a fucking Monday in that town. It is a different fucking... It's like a low-rent Miami. Oh, it is a blast. But on a holiday weekend, everyone who has a house will have, like, 4 friends come to stay and party. And these aren't big houses. They're like one-story bungalows. So what happens is you get 10 people who each bring 4 friends for the weekend, and all of a sudden it feels like you're spending 72 days sailing across the Mediterranean with a boat full of refugees from Libya. You wind up with block after block of like crack shacks that just reek of fart, weed, cologne, feminine hygiene products, and Svedka. And there's house music blasting off the fucking front porch, and groups of bros are rolling like 12 deep in their tank tops and their chubby shorts, just marauding around town in search of intoxication and loose pussy. Oh, good times. I know I'm not allowed to say that. If there are veterans watching, I know. I'm so sorry. I'm not allowed to say good times about Memorial Day, though. Good times. Because the professional veterans will come after me. These guys are the fucking worst. I've noticed it heavily amongst the reservist community, but the most active duty guys are kind of like, yo, I love the Marine Corps, but also, fuck the Marine Corps. It's hard to explain unless you've lived it. I'm actually going to do a whole episode on that later in the summer. But, you know, there are guys who serve in the military and it becomes like their entire existence. Like they have no personality whatsoever except for that of the disgruntled veteran. They went outside the wire twice during the deployment, and they go on Facebook like they were at the fucking battle for Way City. I was there, man. You think Memorial Day is about hot dogs and hamburgers and going to the shore to get drunk and suck on banana boat covered nipples while the waves just crash against the beach? No! Don't thank me for my service. Today ain't about that, patriot. That's what Veterans Day is for. Now listen up. Memorial Day is about those who gave their lives so you could have your little barbecue. You ought to be observing a moment of silence all weekend long, shitbird. Oh, yeah. If you're a civilian and you see guys, you know, who are veterans posting that shit on it's especially on, most of them are social media jockeys. They don't have the balls to do it to anyone out in public. Just ignore it. When it comes to Memorial Day, I say give a few bucks to the ladies with the poppies outside the grocery store. Take a walk to the park, check out the war memorial. Every town's got one. Give it a little moment of reflection. Maybe you got someone you knew that you lost, maybe an older relative, whatever you got to do to reflect and give it its due, and then enjoy the day the way the fallen would want you to. Do you think if some kid from fucking Brooklyn who was killed in Fallujah came back, do you think he'd fucking say that the best use of one's time was brooding over the idea of civilians having barbecues? Fuck no. He'd be like, give me a beer, some pussy, I'm up next to wiffle ball, and suck my dick, faggots. It's mostly the post-9/11 guys pulling this shit too. And on behalf of the, you know, the sane ones to the, you know, you fucking loonies who wear operator hats everywhere you go, we got to ditch the whole Vietnam mentality. We were not rejected by civilians in this country the way the Nam guys were. In fact, it almost gets annoying how much praise is lavished upon us sometimes. Like some of my worst moments every year, happens every summer at least once, is when I get stuck at a bar and they play that fucking chicken fried song, and that dickhead goes on that fucking patriotic diatribe. I think every stands chaps. Like, yeah, I get it, bro. You're American as fuck. Like, oh, you know, you love blue jeans and shitty domestic pilsners and steak that somebody ruined by frying it like it's a fucking chicken. There is nothing more embarrassing, I think, to the Caucasian race than seeing white people, drunk, emotional white people, singing along to the fucking Zac Brown band. If I witness it one more time, I might actually order a Black Lives Matter t-shirt and just jump ship. Fuck. But then, you know, during the day, you're rocking the tank top, hanging by the grotto at Bar A, and you know, people see your tattoo. They, thanks for your service, bro! Thanks for your service! If it was chicks doing it, if they were, like, coming up and, you know, grabbing my cock, it'd be great, but, it's always like these sunburnt Irish Riviera, Monmouth County Republican types. They're beat fucking red, covered in SPF 50, and they're just sweating Coors Light through their pores. A little bit of Fireball mixed in. They give you a big hug! I probably appreciate the sentiment, but at the same time, now I know how all those campus date rape chicks feel. But, the vets, honestly, civilians, few and far between have I met that have had a shitty attitude about us. It's the government and the VA that we should be raging against. That and, whatchamacallit, fucking wounded warriors, but that's for a different podcast. Anyway, before we get into the meat of this episode, I want to get into the meat of this news story, if you'll excuse me here. I don't know if you guys heard about this, but there was a black guy who went to get a penis transplant, and he woke up with a white dick. And now he says it's going to tattoo it black. So his dick is going to be doing blackface. This might be the first time in recorded history that somebody's penis was guilty of cultural appropriation. It's too bad the vaudeville era's over. He could have had the country's only one dick minstrel show. Anyway, I got the article from the Daily News here. Black man receives white penis transplant. Plans to tattoo it to match his skin color. Where is Rachel Dolezal when you need her? What we got here? A 40-year-old black man received a penis transplant from a white donor 17 years after he lost his own penis in a routine circumcision. Just pausing for a second. You have got to be out of your fucking mind to get a circumcision at the age of 23. Just live with the fucking anteater already. I've heard the chicks love them. It's like having a little French tickler just permanently attached to your wang. Anyway, moving on. A team of South African doctors from Stellenbosch University and the Tygerberg Academic Hospital performed their second successful penis transplant on the man whose identity they are withholding in April. That's my news guy voice, by the way. Fucking news guy. You talk to them off the air, they're like, hey, how's it going? And then they get on there and they're like, 12 people shot in Ramadi Sunday. It's just, you know, fucking speak in your normal voice, weirdo industry. Anyway. South Africa. Oh, those apartheid guys aren't gonna be happy. They find out a brother's walking around with a white dick. Anyway, continuing. The recipient plans to have his penis medically tattooed so that his new member matches the color of the rest of his body. Medical tattooing typically commonly obscures skin imperfections, including vitiligo, using flesh-colored pigments. That's rough, though. You know what I mean? Like, you're born as a black dude. And let's be honest, history has not always been great to the black community, but you have a few advantages, among them being the massive penis, and then you lose that in a botched adult circumcision and a team of white doctors in a country that has oppressed your people for years gives you one of theirs. And you know the whites aren't going to give up like a fucking, you know, big dick to the blacks because it's South Africa and everybody's still a little racist. So they were probably like, yeah, we'll just give him one from the guy who showers in his bathing suit at the gym. Oh, but we can paint it for you. It's probably not even covered by his provider. He had to pay out of pocket just to recoup a little bit of dignity. Now that's systematic oppression. And, where are the Reverends Sharpton and Jackson when you need them? I told a story on the show a while back about how I once stood in line behind a very tall black man who was buying regular-sized condoms, which threw me for a complete loop. I guess he hates watermelon, he's allergic to cocoa butter, goes to scary movies and doesn't make a sound, sucks at basketball, can't run very fast, and is absolutely repulsed by white women with big asses. But speaking of black cock, everyone was going nuts over Tiger Woods. I'll be honest, I was going to give it a whole segment on the show, but who the fuck cares? It's golf. It's a country club sport. Everybody who plays is running on like a hearty concoction of booze and pills, and they all cheat on each other. So spare me the shit about how he's like setting a bad example or how this is his downfall. Just get the fuck out of here, okay? Grown men writing op-eds. Let me get the cock out of my mouth. Grown men writing op-eds about how they're disappointed in Tiger. It's fucking golf. The guy lives to get he likes to get a little buzzed and fool around with expensive pussy. Didn't they do an entire South? But everyone likes to get buzzed and fool around with expensive. But tell me right now, you can honestly say that if you were making shit tons of money to engage in a leisure activity, that you wouldn't want to spend at least some of that money. I'm sure he's got a fantastic 401k, but some of that money on intoxication and high-end sniz. You cannot deny that. That is exactly who the sport caters to, by the way, too. Rich people who live their lives, Apparently I'm singing fucking show tunes now. I don't know what the fuck's wrong with me. Maybe a sip of water for a second. The sport caters to fucking rich people who live their lives in a haze of Xanax, Zinfandel, and infidelity. So in that sense, Tiger very much remains the poster boy for the game. Anywho, well, here's a couple samples right here. Anywho, this episode of the Savage Sacktap is brought to you by Cosby Cups. That's right, Cosby Cups pudding snacks. Can you see his face? I don't know if the camera's close enough. Cosby Cups pudding snacks. Put some on a spoon, then put it wherever you want, because Cosby Cups pudding snacks are guaranteed to put that bitch to sleep. And from the makers of Cosby Cups pudding snacks come Cosby Cups gelatin desserts. J-E-L-L, no, is what she can't say when you knock her out with Cosby Cups. Cosby, how about that? Imagine being a juror for Cosby, hearing about the nice sweater man who used to sell pudding. He's been going around and surprise sexing chicks after loading their Shirley Temples up with melatonin or whatever the fuck he did. That's wild stuff. Anyway, since I am plugging things, how about do this? Follow us on social media. I'm on Twitter, it's at Mike Montone, and at The Savage Crew. We're on Facebook, it's facebook.com/The Savage Crew. Instagram, you can find us at Gary_Moiler, or just search The Savage Crew. And the number to call if you want to leave a message is 201-632-1372. All of this information is available in the show notes, by the way. You probably can't see it. It's written on the whiteboard back there. I'll give it out at the end of the episode right after I take some voicemails. We're talking Bill Maher, Kathy Griffin in just a bit. If you're watching the video version of this episode, I'm terribly sorry. This is where I have to leave you. But good news, you can get the whole thing at thesavagecrew.libsyn.com, or just click the link in the notes there.